So concept number one, know the history of disease. And there are only two kinds of disease. You don't have to go to medical school. It's that simple. Catastrophic disease. Having a heart attack and dying is a catastrophe, but it's not a catastrophic disease. It is a developmental degenerative disease that has unfolded over years and decades. It is a degenerative disease. Catastrophic disease. I've got lousy skin genes. I grow skin cancers the way people grow barnacles. Well, that's the way it is. So, nothing I can do about it. I got to stay out of the sun for the rest of my life and they'll keep popping up. Well, that's a catastrophic failure. I can't live a better life and fix that. So catastrophic diseases are important. It's a separate category. When you think about what should I worry, stew, or plan for, those are in a different category. Now listen, everything else is a degenerative disease. And everything else, including some of these, but everything here is a disease of the mitochondria. Everything. I'll show you some lists. Concept number two, there are only two kinds of disease. Now, there's a corollary to that. And this corollary, that stuff we're talking about, those key concepts, those are important. This is just my opinion. Screen for everything that technology and money can provide. Why the heck not? And that is curable, treatable, or preventable. Example, Phil is a gifted natural athlete. Phil, he's, anybody know, there's Phil. Okay, gifted natural athlete. He has phenomenal biological markers. They're all great. But he has a disease called celiac disease. And celiac disease is an inherited disorder. Depends on the population, anywhere from 1 per 100 to 1 out of every 200 people have this. This guy at 40 had coronary calcium, which means he already had coronary artery disease as a young man. Not because of his cholesterol, not because of his insulin, not because of his testosterone, not because of anything you've ever had checked for, or probably ever had checked for, but because he has celiac disease, which is a disease of the intestine, well, we'll leave it at that, and causes an interesting kind of inflammatory response that's associated with coronary artery disease and rheumatoid arthritis and stuff he doesn't want to hear about. So, but fortunately he found it, and he's now treating it. The treatment for him is avoiding all the foods he'd love to eat. Turns out it's that simple for celiac disease. He was a donut guy, to tell you the truth. All right. And a gifted athlete. I don't know how those two go together, but anyway. So concept number two, you got that. Concept number three. Now this one's maybe a new concept, but like the mitochondria, this is a fundamental issue. Fundamental rhythms define health. Fundamental rhythms define health. The goal is to restore the rhythms and strengthen them. Now what in the heck am I talking about? Let me illustrate. Many of you have heard this simple example, but I'll illustrate it. About 3 a.m., the body starts cranking out cortisol. Peaks about 6 a.m. to 8. Supposed to spend the rest of the day going down like this. Late in the day, your cortisol levels are low, and when the cortisol levels are low, that's one of the signals that about 8 to 10 o'clock, your body starts producing melatonin. When your body's producing melatonin, you get ready to go to sleep, and you sleep deeply and healthfully. If you go to sleep at the right time, about an hour after you go to sleep, your growth hormone spikes. And about 3 hours later, your liver makes the right kind of cholesterol, not the wrong kind of cholesterol. This is a fundamental rhythm. The beating of the heart is a fundamental rhythm. The menstrual cycle is a fundamental rhythm. These are ones you're familiar with. There are virtually hundreds of fundamental rhythms. And from childhood, look at a baby. Wakes, well, let's get past that stage. Anyway, gets up, eats, plays, has a nap, eats, has a nap, gets up, plays, eats, plays a little longer, eats something, has a nap, wakes up, eats something, go to bed, sleep all night. 2 naps at least, in the early stage, and a long night's rest. These are deep rhythms that are expressed in the biology of that child. We all have those, and we spent our entire from infancy up, extinguishing those fundamental rhythms. We destroyed those fundamental rhythms. Our sleep is lousy. Everything that's healthy needs to happen in sleep, etc. So the restoration of fundamental rhythms is a very important concept. It defines health.